And hello, and we're back again. Thank you so much for joining us again on Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. And this is my guest, Miss Alicia Yvette Wells. How are you, love?
Wonderful. Thank you for
Great,
having
great. We had early. We had a little computer issues, but we've gotten that straightened out, and we are ready to chop it up a little bit about my good friend. We go way back, probably about 40 years.
us.
Yes, yeah, something like that. But as teenagers. Yes, yes. So Alicia has a new book called Mass Off: Marriages, Divorce, Breakup, and Makeups. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Alicia. Let everyone know about you and what's your current profession.
Well, my current profession, I'm still in the beauty industry, but my current profession is author. And may I make a correction? I don't know if you realized it, but you said that I was the owner of Genesis Beauty Saloon. I don't want your viewers to think that I'm an owner of a saloon, but it's
What did I
Genesis.
say? I'm sorry. Correct me if I was wrong. I didn't know you heard me. I didn't know you that you could hear me over that intro.
That's okay. That's
Hey,
okay. But
all right.
I am a businesswoman, service provider. I've been in the beauty industry. Most people know me from the beauty industry, and I am the owner of Genesis Beauty Salon, Genesis Suites, and also I am a real estate um, entrepreneur as an investor. But my latest venture is author. And this is something that I'm very proud of. It was an arduous task. However, it's been quite a learning experience, and I'm proud of the fact that I did pursue and finished and completed it thus far. This was a labor of love. It was not easy, as I stated before, but as I heard the call from God, okay, this is not about you, Alicia. It has never been about you. But telling my story, I feel that someone will be helped by it. And so that's the prayer. That's my prayer about this book.
What is your purpose of writing it? I mean, you had a real deep. That was your deepest purpose for writing it.
Well, when you're writing a book or if you're doing speeches of any kind, you usually a book is to inform, inspire, or persuade the reader. And so this book, I pray that it will be inspirational to the reader and the information that I have created within the book. It is a memoir. And I just pray that someone would be helped by me sharing my story. It's a relatable story to some. And everybody is not my audience, but to those who are reading the book, I have been getting some great reviews.
Right. I would like to know where we can get. I'm gonna. We. Well, I'm gonna move up some screen here and show some details for your book as well. Okay, that's well. I also loaded up in the bottom of the screen a book site that they had also can land you on the landing page of your book. That would take you. This would take you to the web page with you can buy from Amazon. Uh, what category is your book on?
It's a memoir, and it aligns under a self-help book as well, because I have shared in the book, I share some powerful scriptures that support many of my experiences. So I would say it's a self-help book as well, but it is a memoir, and I take the reader on a journey of resilience, faith, and transformation.
Wow. Okay, I was going to my Instagram site because it was letting me know that I had not clicked the online the go live button. So now we're back on that. So if anybody here have any comments, you want to make any comments or want to ask Alicia any questions, you're welcome to come to our comment board and give us ask her any question you'd like to ask her. So Lisa, how long did it take you to write this book?
Well, I started writing the book in 2017, and it was therapy for myself, but and it was all about forgiving because I was harboring a lot of resentment and anger. And I just started writing the book, and I couldn't continue because it was very deep, it was very personal. However, I was inspired by God to share my story, and I happened to be at a conference, and I kept saying, "Oh God, I cannot do it. I can't do it." And then that's when the Holy Spirit revealed to me, it's not for you, Alicia. It's not for you. It's for all the other women and persons who have been through divorce, who may be in a relationship, and they are trying to figure out where to go, what to do in this relationship. And so I continued on and pursued in publishing the book. And actually, when I really got back into it, it was 2023 rather. So it took me about a year to actually complete the book and to publish the book. So I went live last year, October 24, 2020.
Yeah, well, that's what, a couple of years you have to write this book.
Yes, well, you can have what they call writer's block.
Mm-hmm.
Did go through that. And then when you're busy, I'm not a professional writer. So that's not what I do as full time. So I
Right.
work it into my schedule because I was still, when I started, I was able to get several of the chapters completed, an outline, look for and search for an editor. So all of that was within that year. So I think that it was quite a bit. Some people can probably write a book in 30 days. That didn't happen.
Really? I don't think I can write a book in 30 days. It'd take me 30 years to write a book of my life. All the storms and struggles and I've gone through, well, we all have. I always tell someone, you haven't worn my shoes before, Lord. And I don't happen to be looking at your bio. And it was telling me that you were raised by a strong Christian mom, that you're a woman of God, and you're a member of the Emmanuel Baptist Church of Jesus Christ, and growing up in wisdom, increasing your in value. Now, it also tells me that you're also a pioneer, a member of the Pioneer Women Organization, ambassador of BISD. That's wonderful. And your latest venture is this book, Mass Off. So I can understand that it took you about 3 years to write a book. Yeah, with all the things that you involved in.
Yeah, it took some time, but the what really put a halt on the book was the fact that you have to be really healed when you're writing and you're telling a story, a personal story. You have to be healed from all of it in order to be able to put it on paper and to become public with that. And I
Right.
had a vision, am I ready to do this? And so I had the blessings from my dad, who passed away, my biological father. He said, write the book. And my mom gave me permission to write the book. And that gave me the energy just to pursue and to continue on with the book because it's a personal story. It really is. And that's not easy to do if you're still harboring resentment. Um, but I've been through therapy for all of that. And so I was ready. I was ready to write the book. I was ready to publish the book.
And was this the reason why you chose that title for the book?
Yes, we wear masks of all kinds, whether it's masks of fear, whether it's a mask of unforgiveness. We walk around, we look pretty as women. And it's not just women, men also, but this is mainly about women. And I wasn't ready to just take off my mask. So the book title, Mask Off, and the picture that I chose for the book, where it wasn't just me. I had a team of people who chose this cover, and I had to approve it because although I'm not wearing an actual mask on the book cover, but it's shadowed, and I use that as the picture to put on the cover along with the font that I chose. If you notice, the font is like a heartbeat. So I chose that font because of the ups and downs that we go through, and the highs and lows, the valley lows and the mountain highs. That's what that font represent in the letter. So it was, I thought about every detail within the book. And then on the back cover, it's more vivid. It's more where I'm out, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
from under the mask. And so
Yes.
it's more of a happy picture. And I thought that that represented where I am at this time in my life. You have to
Mm.
realize, too, the book, it starts with my young childhood, and then I go through my teenage years, and then when I met my father at 17, and we go from there to my adult life to the
I,
current.
I never knew you didn't meet you met your father when you were 17.
No one did, but you have to read the book to find out.
Yeah, read the book, find out. I got to buy the book. Let me show you something else on this point on the screen. I'm gonna pull up on the screen. There you go. Just a little bit about yourself, a little readout about yourself. Get inspired about the book. It tells a lot about what you've gone through, what you've been through, and it's going to be exciting to read. So those who watching or listening, please get a chance to support Alicia. Let's buy this book and read it. I mean, it's great. It's going to be a great knowledge of. It's something that I can imagine, but I know it's deeper than what I can imagine. Because I remember you moving to. I remember you being as a young teenager. You're a very young teenager. I think we met then. That all I knew that you lived with your grandmother, right?
Yes.
And from, if I'm not mistaken, we lived in the Magnolia
Yes.
townhomes.
Go ahead. From the North End. I'm not ashamed to say I'm from the North End. Yay, North
For the
End.
dog day, yes. Yeah, I remember those days. I can remember those days, but it is so good to know that this stuff
My
to
grandmother
see.
Magnolia Gardens, and so I would visit her. My sister actually lived with her, but I
Mhm.
there, throughout middle school years here and there. But I grew up on Country Club with my mom and my stepdad.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
now, Alicia, now you did not self-publish this book, but who are your major publishing company?
Actually, I self-published, and the reason for self-publishing, I had a little wiggle room because
Mm-hmm.
if it's a major publishing company, they require certain amounts of words for that category, a memoir, and you
Mm-hmm.
um, it may be 60,000 words. I didn't want the book to be long and drawn out. So the book you can actually read in a day or two. And some of my readers who have read the book is like, oh my God, I see myself in chapter 13. I see myself in chapter 21. So it is a relatable story for many. But I did self-publish the book because again, it just gave me a little bit more wiggle room, and I can, um, not have as many pages to the book. I wanted it to be a quick read and not something that was boring. Not
Yeah,
that reading is boring, but I wanted people to actually read it and not just buy the book, but
right.
and enjoy the book.
Man, I'm so proud of you. Look at this. I can't believe this. You got a book. You wrote a book. This is something. But you always had that entrepreneurial spirit in you. You can tell. We it's just it's in our genes. You can tell
Yes,
that. But yeah,
yes,
it's just unique. It's a unique the inside. I cannot explain it.
I
But
get that. uh,
you'll know what I'm saying.
I was saying I get that from my mom. She is definitely an entrepreneur at heart.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, awesome. I look at the same thing myself. I said, golly, where'd I get all this from? Where do I get all? But I look back at my mother, and she was just a go-getter, a hardcore go-getter, and she was an entrepreneur. She was strong-willed, And I said, Lord, this is what I get. And I got up. Then I have her mouth too. Act like my dad and talk like my mouth. Talk like my mom. Okay. Hey, listen. What is your ultimate goals for your readers? What do you want us to?
Well, my ultimate goal with publishing this book is to lead people to Christ, that
Hmm.
experience, that abundant life. When I surrendered to God's will and not my will, that's when I became rich in wisdom and joy and peace, and along with some tangible things that I desired. But even in the midst of the rain, in the storms, that's where I still have the peace of God and peace with God. So that's my ultimate goal, and that people would be transformed, by renewing their mind and forgiving those people. You have a lot of people who they wear the mask, but they hold on to a lot of unforgiveness. And, sometimes they don't even realize why they don't like a person, why they dislike this family member or whatever. They have forgotten why. But harboring all of those things, it can take you to a place where you're not experiencing joy. So I would love for people, if there's anybody that you haven't said, I forgive you, let it go. Let it go. And just enjoy life.
I like that. You're right. Enjoy life, and I like yeah, I like your spiritual in you, the spirit that you have that you believe in God first, and
Absolutely. But it wasn't always like that. My young life, my 19-year-old self, I started out, I got married at 19, and I was going to do it my way. But then at 26 years old, I realized, hey, you're not doing it God's way. You're leaving him out. Your life is not amounting to, you're just going around in circles. And
right,
and I talk a little bit about that in the book. And at that point, that's when I was like, it was through the divorce that I really came back and came to know Christ. Because, many of us, we grew up in church, went to church, got baptized, but I didn't have a relationship. And,
right, right,
after my divorce, I needed something. I needed someone. And I only Jesus can fill that emptiness. And that's
right,
what I'm experiencing. And so, when I rededicated my life to Christ, I guess I was about 28 years old. And my life took a different turn, and it was all for the better.
right.
Yes.
Well, who is your audience? You have a particular audience that you.
Um, the demographics to my audience is age 35 to 60, and mostly women. As I said before, men are reading the book. I have had some guys that read the book and gave me some great reviews, because from one of the chapters in the book, or maybe a couple of chapters, and they expressed to me, I never realized the hurt that I may have caused a young lady by
Hmm.
and just forgiving themselves, for bringing a female through some heartache and pain. And
Hmm.
when you're young, you don't think about those types of things. You're just doing what you do. But I appreciate those guys who have shared that with me. So yes, guys are reading, and the others, married women, divorced women, widowed, and those who are in blended families. I come from, and I am in currently, this amazing blended extended family, and we're all good. I'm on marriage number 3, and I don't take that lightly, but 3 times a charm.
Three. I didn't know about number. I didn't know.
I mean,
I must have missed two. I must have missed number two.
you must have missed number 2. It was short lived, but
I was, I did spend 25 years away from Beaumont, but I missed number two. I always thought it was only one, two.
it's 3. Read the book. You'll
I'm gonna have to get the book.
number
I got to get the book. And everybody, I asked you to get the book. Maybe it is so wonderful to get a chance to talk to a childhood friend of mine that we just go way back, And we've experienced some things, and she has experienced some great things. I'm so glad you write a book. I'm gonna write my book too. It's gonna be dangerous.
I can only imagine. Go ahead. Yes.
And Alicia, and I tell you, in all the work that you do, in your business, you're always doing something great in the community as well. And I just admire you. And you like you said in your dropping the giant gems on life, is that your motto is setting a standard and raising the bar and striving for excellence. That is awesome. That is awesome, folks. Let me show you where you can get the book, where you can purchase the book. Let's see if I can put it up on the screen again. I've been messing around here so much here. Let's see if I can put it on the screen. Let's see here. There we go. All right. Tell us about it. They should the 10 bonus in your book launch. Tell us about your book launch.
Well, I've been having what I call launch parties. And with that, I envision a cozy, uplifting atmosphere where I'll share the heart behind Mask Off. And it's an opportunity for women to connect and share and feel seen. And so it gives you a chance to inspire me, a chance to inspire real conversations that leads to transformation. So from this show, if someone is watching, the first person that emailed me with the subject line launch party, they will get a $50 value gift, and I'll show up at your launch party. So my email address is alishawells10@gmail.com. And in the subject line, they will put launch party. And the first person that does that, then we can have a lunch. They invite me to their launch party. I'll give them all the details and they can pick my brain and we'll go through some chapters, whatever that they choose, up to 3, and we'll talk about it and discuss it. So this can be a person that has never read the book. It can also be someone who has purchased the book and read it that wants to have a launch party.
Awesome. Let me give a big shout out to Kevin Williams, who's watching us on Knowledge is Power podcast with my super guest, Alicia Wells, and Marzelle Thomas and Lillian Brown, who's watching us live. Thank you guys for watching and listening. This is a great book that I want you guys to really get a chance to purchase. It's on Amazon. You can go to the book site website. It's massoffbook.com, and it would take you into the Amazon page, and you can click it to Amazon and purchase the book or direct. I didn't put the code for directly to Amazon, but of course your landing page would land them right there to it.
Yes, it'll take you straight to Amazon. By going to the website, you get to see just some other options, some other things that's on the website, a couple of sound bites, and then you click the buy button and it'll take you to Amazon.com.
And I want to flip over to our Instagram page and shout out to Isaiah Prudham, and the Performing Arts of Texas is watching as well, and a few more here on quite a few here on Instagram that's watching. Hey, thank you guys for watching. Hey, tell them again. Say hello. Hi. But
Hello.
anyway,
And if there's anybody with a question, they can type it in the text or however you do it on your show.
yeah, that's how we do it. If you like to ask Alicia a question, just type it in your comments and we'll read it out, get it out to them. Alicia, I thank you so much.
When you used to come and DJ at the Executive Club back in the day.
Who used to do that?
You, when you would come in the DJ booth long time ago.
Oh my God.
We talking 40 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, I forget, I forget about I used to have that career. I completely forget I had a radio broadcasting career. And I forget I did those dances and played music at the clubs. Boy, I tell you, those days. That was the days. Alicia Wells, the author of the book Mask Off, Marriage, Divorce, Breakup, and Makeup, guys. Thank you so much, Alicia, for joining us and coming on and talking about your book. I want you guys to get out there and purchase Alicia's book and get to know about it. And it's something for you to learn somebody's history of their life, what they've gone through, the transformation, the faith that it takes to that you have to go endure in life. I understand, and I want you to too. If you want to leave us in the final word, any final words, Alicia?
Well, I just want to thank all of you, all of you who have purchased the book and who's read the book, and I appreciate your support. And if it's anybody out there who's holding on to something and they haven't forgiven the person, I encourage you to let it go. It gets better. And you know what? Before we leave, something that I thought about earlier today. You know, with all what's going on in our community with parenting, with our children, it would be a great idea if we could all wrap our arms around those parents who may be struggling or frustrated during their parenting season. If we can get them together and encourage them by sharing our stories and how we got over, how we got through parenting season. Honey, listen, you are not alone. And but you put the work in and you'll get a great return on your investment. I just want to put that out with because you know parents are going through it right now. And we went through it, but we did it with grace and we did it with the help of the good Lord.
Yes.
So that's another thing that that's another chapter in my book. You know, I share the story and how I as a single mom and what I went through with my son, how God was with us all the way. My son is now he's a marketing strategist. He sings opera. He's a great guy, but it's not easy when you're parenting. But if you just put the work in,
that's right,
it'll pay off. So parents, be encouraged. Read the book, Mask Off.